This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come.
We in the last days. Right now, we in the last days. I mean, and for those of you, you just think about it. From this point on, it only get rougher. It's been getting rougher. Like when I was a child, it was rougher. It was rough. It's rougher for the children coming up than it was for me. You understand? And it's getting rougher and rougher, and it's getting worse and worse. And now all kind of countries got nuclear bombs out here. I just heard Iran got nukes now. They been lying to us. They got. I can't even watch television because they got Obama all on TV with a special announcement. Now Iran got nukes. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, it's wars and rumors of wars going on. Perilous times is now. But go ahead and read verse 2. Keep going.
For men should be lovers of them own selves, covetous.
So he said they're going to be covetous or desiring someone else's goods. That's what covetousness is. Go ahead.
Boasters.
And boasters are speaking with excessive pride. Go ahead.
Proud. Blasphemy. Disobedient to parents.
That's right.
Unthankful. Unholy. Without natural affection. Trucebreakers. False accusers. Incontinent. Fierce, despisers of those that are good.
So this is the time we in now. It's going to be people out here, they're going to hate those that are trying to do good. They're going to look at you like being evil or being wrong is right. And then they say people going to be unthankful. They're going to be proud. Then one of them I like on here, well, the only reason I like it is because don't nobody like to speak upon it, without natural affection. You know, natural affection is like how a man supposed to love a woman. Well, when you without it, what you think that is? But keep reading though. Where we at? Verse 5. Go ahead.
Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, for such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses, and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
So now we're learning something else, brothers and sisters. There's people out here who will always be learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. And this truth is what's going to set you free. So there's going to be people out here who are always in the Bible, but they're not never going to get no understanding of this thing. And you really want to know why? It's because they're not applying what this say to their life. They ain't keeping it real with themselves. You understand what I'm saying? They just basically faking it. They just talking a good game, or they out here putting on the front, putting on the show, or like some of my brothers like to say, throwing a mask on, so that when people see you, you one way, but inside you something else. So they gonna be ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. But let's pick it up in verse 10. Go ahead.
But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, longsuffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch and Iconium, at Lystra, what persecutions I endured. But out of them all the Lord delivered me.
You see something here, like, I'm showing you this because this is the cost. See, Paul, he didn't say, he didn't just read this and say, well, you know my doctrine, my manner, manner of life, my purpose, my faith. He didn't say the goodness of my life. He said my long sufferings. He didn't just say, oh, the joy that people gave me because I taught them the word. He said my persecutions. He said my afflictions. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're talking about when you're talking about following Jesus Christ and what type of road this is going to lead. You're going to have people hate you. They ain't going to like you no more. You done changed. You don't do what they used to do no more. But keep reading.
Yea, and all that I will live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution.
And you see what he said there? All that will live godly in Christ Jesus is going to suffer persecution. Let's go on and find some of this out. Let's go to Daniel chapter 3. And we're going to see somebody who is living godly, and we're going to see them suffer persecution. You know what I'm saying? I love going back to these old stories, because these old stories is stories that we use to build our faith upon. Because we saw Paul say, but the Lord delivered him. That's what we saw Paul say. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see, we at Daniel chapter 3, and we're going to look at the story here about Daniel. And many people know this story, but to hear it again, sometimes it's going to help you. So go ahead and pick this up in Daniel chapter 3 and start at verse 1. And when you get there, go ahead and read it, bro.
Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar, the king, had set up. Then the princes, the governors, and captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar, the king, had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up.
So basically the whole world was about to go partake in this activity.
Right.
And when we say the whole world, everybody that's sitting up under Nebuchadnezzar, just like everybody that's sitting up under President Obama, if he said do something, we all pretty much gonna roll with it. That's how it's rolling right here. Keep going.
Then and Herod cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of a cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king hath set up.
Go ahead.
And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
So we got a decree, a law, saying, hey, this is what you do, or you're going to suffer the consequences. All right, so let's skip down to verse, and what it was bow down to this image. That was like six furlongs high or something. What it was, 6 cubits, and the breadth was 6 cubits, and it had 6 instruments. So I pointed that out so that we can get some, on the way to learning something. But we see here that the Lord has already set the precedent for that mark of the beast. He throw that mark of the beast right there in Daniel chapter 3. Something to think about. 666. But at any rate, and he was saying, you bow down to this golden image. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to see, and if you don't bow down to this image, then it's going to be a fiery furnace to you. That's where you're going. So let's see what happens. Let's see if everybody obeys the king.